So what YN was it that said that?
So it was just some YN. He was getting interviewed. You know what I'm saying? It was on a podcast. I don't know the podcast. I just seen the clip. But basically, he said that like, and again, we all got our favorites. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be ride or die for our favorites. But he said that Jim Jones is more relevant than Nas. And that kind of blew me away. And he was not joking. That's the crazy part about it. Like he stood on business. And again, that's passion. I feel him on that. That's passion. But here's the trippy thing about it. So Jim Jones, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cassidy, it was somebody, but Jim Jones was on the podcast. Oh no, it was Fat Joe. It was on Fat Joe's podcast. And Jim Jones said, well, yeah, if you think about it, you know, I've had a successful career. You know, I set trends in the early 2000s. Yeah, so I can agree that, maybe the YN was right that, yeah, I am more relevant than Nas. That's delusion, bro. That's delusion.
That's wild.
And then to make matters worse, he doubles down and says, oh, well, you know, pull up my streams, pull up my sales and my records. And again, he said it and I did it. Bro, you nowhere near touching Nas. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Jim Jones. But the numbers showed since he wanted to play a numbers game. The numbers showed. It's crazy work.
I'm sorry for a YN to say that is crazy work, and then for Jim Jones to second that notion is crazier work. Like, nah. Like what trends you said though?
Like he was saying.
What trends did he say?
Look. He was basically saying that like, okay, it was back in the 2000s. Back in the 2000s, I was in high school. You feel me? So the early 2000s. So he's saying like, you know, like what I can't say like with the pink because who started that? Cam started that. You know what I'm saying? So okay. Like
Jim Jones wearing, you know, the loud colors, you know, the big ass belt buckles and the wallets with the chains and shit. Like what trends did you set, fam? You know what I'm saying? And listen, I fuck with Jim Jones music. This is not a diss. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? No shade to Jim Jones. Shout out to Jim Jones, bro. But I'm sorry, my nigga. Your pen ain't seeing Nas's pen. You ain't set no type of trends that Nas set. You know what I'm saying? Like your music is like incomparable. Like, okay, when we talking about numbers, okay, so he, you know, him, okay, so before Jim Jones, you know, he when he was with the Diplomats, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the early 2000s, like, you know, they was doing their shit and Nas was doing their shit too. You know what I'm saying? But Nas's music it made more of an impact than the Diplomats, even though it was incomparable. You know what I'm saying? But you couldn't see, you know what I'm saying, Nas's pen back then. Like your numbers might be outshining Nas's numbers now because Nas ain't dropping like that, and you are. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way that I could see that. And like I said, there's no diss and there's no shade because I fuck with Jim Jones music. You know what I'm saying? Like Jim Jones makes dope music, but I totally disagree with that. I'm sorry.
And I disagree too. And see, the YN, he has said that I forgot which one of Jim Jones' albums that I guess was popular back then. I think it was the one that had Ballin' on it. He said that, here's the crazy thought about it. He said that is better than Nas's couple recent albums within the last 2 year span. King Disease 1 and 2. He said that album is better than the King Disease series. Like, bro, what?
Nah, man.
Like, what are we talking about?
Man, I'm sorry, man. King Disease was dope as fuck, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything that Nas has put out is dope as fuck. I just, you know, like, wasn't King Disease Part 2 was Nas's last project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then too, it's just like it's the times, you know what I'm saying? Like YNs are not gonna appreciate the type of shit that Nas does. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Jim Jones don't necessarily talk about just Jim Jones, he makes some good ass music, but he still talk about the bullshit in his music. You know what I'm saying? YNs don't hear nothing that Nas has to say these days. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Facts.
sorry, like the numbers might be there, but that's just because Nas is not dropping. He's not dropping, and you're still dropping albums. You know what I'm saying? And Nas is not. You know what I'm saying?
And,
Just like you know, the Kendrick and Drake thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Kendrick makes conscious music. You know, with a little bit of gangster. You know what I'm saying? And
facts.
Drake, he's very versatile. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like Drake's number Drake's numbers was killing Kendrick's numbers because Kendrick don't drop like that. Drake
No, he
drops
don't.
every fucking day. Well, now he don't. But before the beef, Drake was dropping shit every day. He was working with any and everybody, and Drake was dropping albums. You know what I'm saying? So that's why your numbers was like killing Kendrick's. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Like, but no, I'm sorry, man. Nigga,
Well, as you, well,
no.
I'm not sure.
Tell me,
I'm not sure.
somebody tell me in the comments what fucking trends Jim Jones was setting.
I would like to hear that. Seriously, I would like to hear that
For real?
because there.
Somebody tell me what trends was Jim Jones setting.
And you know what's even funnier though? What's even funnier is because again, that was the 2000s. Everybody was doing something. I mean, come on now. Remember back in the 2000s when Pharrell dropped the ice creams? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that would, to me, that's the more relevant approach to the early 2000s. I remember the ice creams. Now, I'm not sure if Jim Jones was wearing bait back then. It's a possibility, but bait wasn't necessarily attached to you, bro. Again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but it was bape and ice creams.
Facts.
I
Yeah,
want to hear it though.
I'm
I want to
sorry.
hear it.
So somebody please let me know in the comments because I can't think of nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of no type of trend that Jim Jones was setting. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And you wasn't even a solo artist like when Nas was hot. You was with the Diplomats. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now, if anybody was setting trends around that time, it was Cam.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
If anybody was setting trends around that time, it was Cameron, not you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Jim Jones, he makes dope music. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry, I just don't see it. So somebody let me know. Shit.
I'll bet you. I'll bet you, and I'll shoot you $50 within 3 months because this is circulating. He getting his head and ego pumped up. He gonna drop some bullshit.
Oh, come on.
I'll shoot you $50. I promise you. Within the next 3 months, I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you because he gonna feel like, oh well, I'll show y'all, bro. Out of here.
Show us there. I want to see this shit, bro. I want to see
Hey,
this.
but you, hey, but did you see last night though that I meant to ask you about this last night. So I don't know who the hell Morgan Wallen is. I'm not sure if he's a country artist, but he brought out Drake, right? So my feed's been blowing up. He brought out Drake in Texas last night for his concert. And what's crazy, people are saying, and I don't even like talking about this dude. Like it's just it burns me out. But I will say this though. People are saying that Not Like Us is even more relevant today because Drake came out with Morgan Wallen in his Canadian tuxedo. But see, I didn't know who Morgan Wallen was, but people pulled his receipts and they said what, not even last year or a few years ago, Morgan Wallen is a known racist, always using the hard R. And Drake is walking out with this man like it ain't nothing. He's ever since this beef, he in a weird ass limbo. Have you noticed that?
You fucking colonizer. You know what I'm saying? But man, I didn't know. I don't even know who this person is, Morgan Wallace. You know what I'm saying?
I don't either.
I don't know. Like I said before, um, Kendrick, he listen, man. You know what I'm saying? He peeled Drake's muffin cap back blue. You know what I'm saying? And you
He
know,
really did.
and like I said before, man, the They Not Like Us is gonna be the gift that keeps on giving. It's
Facts.
never going anywhere. It's never going anywhere. Like everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, and that shit was what, a year and a half ago. It's never going
Yeah.
anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. I gotta look that up, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that was last night. That was last night. My feed was going crazy, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And sure enough, he pulling out with a racist that uses the hard R.
oh
You
man,
know, like again, where do you want to fit in at? Because we know your game. You hop on different genres. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have a home. Hip hop then kicked you out. And you know what? And I will say this, and I meant to bring this up to you, the hip hop reset, and we've touched on this off mic, the hip hop reset is real because the Clips album is coming. Pusha T last week, he called out Travis Scott, and he didn't even double down. He tripled down and basically said on camera on Apple Music interview with Ebro, Travis is not a rapper. He's not a rapper. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Pusha got a point. Like, bro, what are you? Like, are you a rock star, or like, do you do alternate? I don't know. All you do is, scream with your long ass face and all this weird stuff. Like, what are you? But again, when it comes to merchandise, Travis Scott, he will sell. Not knocking him for that. He has a cult fan base, but it was Pusha T's snippet, which turned into a song because obviously him and his brother Malice, they're doing a rollout right now. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not mistaken, what is the song called? Let me see. The song is called man, hold on. Ooh. Let's go to YouTube real quick. Okay, so the song is called So Be It. The song is called So Be It. And Pusha T's last verse, he called out Travis Scott. He talked about Calabasas. He talked about, Travis Scott's baby mama in no disrespectful way. But according to Mr. Pusha T, he stated that Travis has no loyalty. And that's very important, not only in the music industry, but in life in general. Travis has no loyalty. Wherever that bone wags, he'll sit up there and he'll go for the bone. You see, Kanye was one of the motivators. Pusha T was, excuse me, not Pusha T. Pharrell was one of his biggest influencers, but yet you play the song Meltdown. You play the song Meltdown for Pusha T and Malice in the studio along with Pharrell. You didn't play Drake's verse. And again, hold on, y'all, before y'all sit up there and be like, oh, well, Drake sent his song late and all this and all that. You knew that was a Pusha T diss and a Pharrell diss when you put it out. Mm-hmm. Now, let's fast forward at Rolling Loud when Travis Scott was with Future and Metro Boomin before the beef even started. You heard the song before it was even put out. What did you do? They played a partial of the song. They cut Kendrick's verse out, but here, your goofy ass egging it on. No, keep playing it. Play that one part. But you make music with Drake, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's your loyalty, bro?
Yeah.
And I'm glad Pusha T is doing this because Kendrick, he set the standard in order to clear the rap game. Again, he made a song. He watched the party die. This was the great reset when it came to hip hop and music. And then what happens later on throughout the year? You get Joey Badass, with the rap competition with TDE, Ray Vaughn, Daylight. You have that. Nothing but straight bars, good music that's being produced and put out. Here come Pusha T. So what I'm seeing is that it's a trend to get rid of all the BS, all the people that's making money just about we getting rid of all that. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear nothing but your pen your lyricism as an MC, because guess what? You got into rap because you passionate about it. And what I believe nowadays that nobody's passionate about hip hop no more. What it is just a cash grab. What it is the fan base, the cult fan base, you know, the fame, the fortune. You know, so you putting degenerate shit out there and you expecting a return. You're not passionate about rap. You looking at it as a come up. So I'm glad that Pusha T, Kendrick, and Malice that they're setting the tone. I'm glad that Joey Badass did that stuff a couple months ago, and Rayvon and Daylight they participated in it along with Absol, because I want to get everybody in there. I'm glad that they doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's setting the tone. We don't want to hear below average bars. We've been listening to that for years. That trend is gone. It's time for real hip hop to come back.
That's right. Shout out to K Dot for resetting the game.